You find yourself sitting comfortably behind your steering wheel, driving down the M1. Your business trip was successful, and you feel all warm inside knowing that you, and only you, could have brought the deal in. The radio plays some innocuous tunes that remind you of someone you can't quite recall. Passing through the East Midlands, you notice, coming up on your left, Junction 27B. You have driven this stretch on the motorway countless times before, and have never consciously noticed Junction 27B before. Casually, you indicate to your left and gradually accelerate as you slide onto the slip road. You briefly smile as you read the sign, Gallowtree, 5 miles, home of the International Space and Knitwear Centre. You now know in the back of your mind that you have less than 5 miles to turn around, less than 5 miles to abandon your whimsy. The radio crackles, and you are listening to Gallowtree Community Radio FM. Today's question: who is Jimmy Dove?
If you awake suddenly in panic, wondering where you are, and smell the sweet fragrance of jasmine off the Bosphorus, hearing the morning call to prayer, you, my friend, may be in Istanbul. If you wake and find yourself in the middle lane of the M1, wondering whether you can remember to drive or not, this also might be considered normal. But if you awake and you have the sensation that you are nailed to the floor in a dimly lit warehouse, then you, pilgrim, are in Gallowtree again. We are Jimmy Dove. Never forget who we are. Don't remember who you ever were. You are Jimmy Dove too. We can all be Jimmy Dove. We are. Remember this. We are and we will be. Jimmy Dove is great. We are great. Jimmy Dove is. An incident involving a member of the catering team in the Avebury restaurant who made an unsuccessful attempt to jump from the 5th floor balcony. The emergency services arrived shortly afterwards, and our colleague has since voluntarily gone to hospital. This is Gallowtree 102.54 FM, Analog. Welcome, friends, free citizens, florists, guest workers, and those who are tolerated. We know who you are. It is a day for celebration here in Gallowtree. It has been almost 2 years since we had the honour of becoming the first experimental, fully devolved town in the country. We now flourish as an autonomous, tax-raising, multicultural, locally focused, pioneering community. The council executive congratulates all of those who stayed on, even after the initial expulsions. Your tax dollars are much appreciated since the central funding has now come to an end. The end we all hope for, the end that is now. Outside the executive chamber, the mayor, Ms. Lorna X, reflected on the historic news today. We have reached a momentous point in our history. We are now free to govern ourselves without the shackles of central government interference. Any interference. Remember this. No meddling. What we say goes. What we say is law. This is what you voted for, and now it's time to pay. And we will all pay. Well, most of us. Some of us. We aim to fully exploit the political capital that we have been promising for the past 2 years. We are now beginning my policy offensive in earnest. It's time for Gallowtree to roll up its sleeves and build our Jerusalem, or Babylon if you voted with a preference. We asked the mayor whether she had any concerns regarding the transition, to which Miss X replied, "There are only 3 things that can stop Gallowtree's progress: asking pointless questions, tax avoidance, and asking pointless questions. Thank you. Oh, by the way, inherited life tax is now in force. Borrow those empty days that your ancestors wasted drooling. Pay with credit and extend your own party days. Just pray the youngsters don't want what you have. I'm sure we all echo that sentiment. Talking of echoing sentiment, the bridge that once occupied the site of the fall of Dick has now been moved to the new celebratory parkway of Centenary Park. Celebrating a century of celebrating a century of celebration. The echoes, or some may say moans, serve to encourage parkgoers in realising that there is more to life than just a party. The only party that counts is ours. You would do well to remember this, citizen. No other party exists, ever. The mayor told us to say that. But we wanted to anyway, because we report on the truth. We are the truth. And that would never be a lie.
You have been listening to Gallowtree, a community-funded local radio station. I'm Adam Aardvark. Max couldn't be around at the end of the show. He often needs to lie down in a darkened room and sort of, well, convalesce. If you enjoyed today's show and want to know more or simply express a simple and not very cogent opinion, then email us at welcometogallowtree@gmail.com. You can tell us what you think, although we might already know what you think. Or failing that, if you genuinely have no idea, we can helpfully provide some new ideas that you can call your very own. Ideas that you can share with your friends and family and become a much more interesting and likeable person, if only to yourself. This has been a Gallowtree Entertainment broadcast recorded in a haunted pub in Gallowtree. No, honestly, voices appeared on the recordings that we later had to edit out. I think we got them all, but who's to know for sure? Anyway, Gallowtree is performed by Max Black, written and recorded by Max Black and Adam Aardvark, is copyright Gallowtree Productions 2015. Thanks for listening. But remember, on your next journey home, Gallowtree may be just around the corner.